Alan, I know there's a lot of things you probably want to get to, so
I do.
I'm just gonna let you take the wheel on this one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me start off by saying this. I'm had some time to cool down, so this is all constructive criticism. Again, as a coach, I just don't like tearing players down. I like to address issues that I've seen, and then hopefully they can learn and grow from it. So I'm gonna start off with this: players, coaches, and the penalties are the penalties. So with the players, first score, Christian Rosebaum's misread the tight end. So typically, when you're having trips or trio or any 3-by-1 formation, your middle backer will look at the number 2 to number 3 receiver. That when you're playing zone, when you're playing man, obviously he's locked up to more than times than not the number 3 receiver. But they're running zone, so he should have looked to 2 to 3 and sent his eyes and his body in the pathway so that K Dot doesn't give up that score. He sees the back flare. I don't know if there was a miscommunication on the back end, but he goes chase, then ends up in no man's land and gives Baker Mayfield an easy touchdown. And that's on the first drive of the game. And I'm going, okay, all right, that's an easy fix. And he fixed it. To his credit, he did fix it. When that interception happened, it's almost the exact same scenario. Baker thought he could throw it up the seam again, and Rosebaum immediately picks it off, runs it for about a 20-yard gain, and that leads to the Panthers' only touchdown. Sorry, not only touchdown, their first touchdown. And I'm going, okay, now we're going. Now we're rolling. Other than that, there was a couple critical third downs, and not on the offense because they didn't get any third downs at all, which that's I'm gonna get address that later. But on defense, so the defense overall played well, but the big thing was they continuously gave Baker Mayfield extended time in the pocket and his ability to make a play, and so that hurt the Panthers on the back end. Um, and I shouldn't be surprised because the Panthers have the second worst defense in the NFL. And playoff football, you have to be able to get off the field on third down. Ask any good team. All your good teams in the league, they are good on third downs. And when you provide any player extended time in the pocket, especially a player like Baker Mayfield, who can make virtually every throw, he's going to hurt you. And that was something that Baker, to his credit, did a much better job. Yes, he threw the interception to Roseboom earlier, but after that, he pretty much played conservatively, which on certain things you think it may hurt you, but for this game it didn't because he had the understanding of, hey, if we don't turn the ball over, we will win this game. And as long he did not turn the ball over after that moment, and they won the game. And it doesn't matter from high school, college, and especially in the NFL, if you're bad on third down, you're not going to win the game. And there are multiple plays where the defensive line, my unit that I coach, those guys had clear opportunities to make the play and they just didn't, which is truly unfortunate. It is so frustrating, especially when you're getting there. And Baker's a good athlete. So it's part Baker Mayfield making a play, but also part the defenders being in the wrong position or being way too high to tackle a mobile quarterback. The biggest blunder from a player was the Rico Dow / Bryce Young fumble. It looked like they were running a flea flicker and there was some miscommunication or some poor timing to where Dow, if ironically, if he just falls, it's a better situation for the Panthers than what he did by tossing it back to Bryce Young. And on Bryce's fault is you see the ball, just fall for it. Have the understanding of what's going on. It was second down. If the Panthers fall on it, that's fine. You can try to get some yards back on third down and hopefully get in your position to kick a field goal. And that field goal, if they're able to kick it, that wins them the game because the final score was 14-16. If they kick the field goal and then they're able to score again, score with Jalen Coker, now it's 17-16. Panthers are wearing the t-shirts down in Tampa Bay. Instead, now I'm having to be a Falcons fan tomorrow, which is completely frustrating. I hate more than anything, relying on other people to handle jobs when you can do it yourself. And this team, as I said, weeks upon weeks, they are a young team, but it is so inconsistent that guys who step up, it's always one or two moments, and then those same guys will have a fumble or a miscue. And I'm so frustrated by that. And that's part the youth, but also that's coaching. And here's why I address the coaching. Couple things. What I'm gonna go back to the flea flicker. Typically, that play makes complete sense when you are stalling on offense and you need a jump. Let's say if they're somewhere between the 20 and the 40, that makes sense. They had been stopping them, and if that was the drive opener, I would have been fully on board. That makes complete sense. But the Panthers were using fundamental football, running good routes. Bryce Young was throwing on time, and then you decide to run a flea flicker around the 35. That makes no sense, especially, and I rewatched it. There was no receiver going deep. Typically, a flea flicker is, hey, we'll give it to the back. He tosses it back. Both the safeties and the corner bite, and you have an easy touchdown over the top. But no receiver was past 7 yards. So, what was that play call? And that's the biggest frustration I have with Dave Canal sometimes, where as an offensive guy, how are you not more creative with what you do? Like before the trick play, there was no creativity in the running game. I will always look at guys like Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay to where they are able to add a motion, a counter, something to put stress and pressure on the defense. So many times this game, you have a veteran defense that is really good against the run, but you do nothing to really to really get them thinking, especially when they have rookie corners. At least if you feel like the box guys are gonna be solid, it's for the rookie corners. If you get a guy off position, now you can run a play fake off of that. And when they finally did, they sent a motion out with Jimmy Horn. It was a big play for McMillan, but that only happened one time. Um, I I want to see if they make the playoffs, and I'm gonna speak life and positivity for this episode. If they make the playoffs, I need to see Dave Canales create some more wrinkles in the run game, in the pass game. I am so tired of no motion, no counter, no misdirection, nothing. And it doesn't need to be an end around with the receiver. It can just be we fake this way, but then we'll have a backside counter the other way. Hey, that makes your linebackers bite, and now you can give backs like Rico Dow and Chuba Hubbard easier lane. Let them make a play once in a while because it was very difficult for them to run the football, and I knew it would be. Tampa Bay is top 10 in run defense. They're really bad in pass, which I immediately went, why were there not more deep shots? You have McMillan, but everything is a deep post and never just a deep a go route, a deep out. I'd even take a hitch and go or a sluggo where you fake the slant and then he immediately goes upfield just to put more pressure on those rookie corners. If they do not make the playoffs, oh, hold on, I just remembered. In the last thing, whenever the weird ref situation, it was they throw the backward pass, Rico Dow catches it, but they blow the ball dead. All right. I'll get to that in a bit. Why is Dave Canales not chewing people's behinds about that? It went from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 16. I'm gonna get to the refs in a bit, but Dave, this is for the season. For the season. Get some bass in your voice and address the line judge or the umpire. Like, it's for the season and we're just off calling plays. I get he's a play caller, and that's the biggest reason why sometimes having your head coach as the play caller isn't a good thing, because you have Bryce Young trying to talk to a line judge, and it's a ref isn't going to negotiate with a player, especially a player like Bryce Young. No offense to Bryce, but he's not Tom Brady. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not that kind of quarterback to where all guys have to just respect what he says. The ref clearly blew him off. And he even agreed, but there's nothing they can do because your head coach isn't fighting for you. Leadership in that key moment is, um, hey, so and so, go ahead and call the plays. I'm gonna go ahead and chew this ref out real quick. Because even if he doesn't change, and he's more than likely not going to change it, but at least you have that ref see, and now you're able to get more likely a makeup call. And if you don't think makeup calls are a real thing, they are. Ask any ref, ask any coach, ask any player. They have all seen it to where, ooh, bad call. I'm expecting something. Oh, conveniently, they finally called the holding call after we haven't had a holding call all game long. Very, very interesting. And then lastly, the refs. As a coach in high school who has been egregiously, and I mean egregiously, like, this is not me being biased. I've talked to multiple refs who I have about 4 games in my head where I would go, a ref made a bad call that cost us the game. I hate blaming refs. I really do. I really do. But because at some point you just recognize they're human. But every good ref will always tell you, hey, coach, I'm only going to call the things that I see. If I don't see it, I'm not going to call it. You can live with that. You can live with that. What you cannot live with is a ref calling things that they think happened. And here's what I mean. McMillan on the he's within he's under 5 yards. He's hand fighting with the corner. He does an extension because again, they've been hand fighting and he finally gets open for a big play. The ref assumes because his hand is extended that it's offensive pass interference. Number one, the ball's not in the air. So he can hand fight all he wants. And number two, it's within 5 yards. He can essentially do whatever he needs to do to get open. And what made it even worse was the ref guy is going, well, I kind of see it, but I'm like going, he's wrong. I get it. You're a ref. You got to protect your guys, but he's wrong. I hate when they do that. It's pretty simple. He can fight, he can play with them, and then and again, there's no push off. They're just trying to he's just trying to get off the line of scrimmage because he's playing physical through. And I'm not even mad at the corner. I'm upset at the ref for not letting the guys play. McMillan makes a great catch, but it doesn't matter because, it looked like it's offensive pass interference. The other one that I was confused by was the defensive pass interference over the trip feet. The ref, for a fact, again, defensive pass interference is, hey, I shove you, or I do something clear and obvious to impede you from getting the pass. Nick Scott never extended on Kate Otten. It's clearly trip feet. And you look at it and you go, that's a weird, and his hands aren't doing this. I get if Nick Scott's hands were pushing off, but he's running and he trips up. Defensive pass interference. You did not see a pass interference. You assumed something happened and then threw the flag. That in those two alone flipped the field position, and immediately, as soon as the Panthers felt it, and you could see on the sidelines, especially with those guys, they just felt like, hey, the calls are coming against us. It's just not our day. It is just not our day. And it's so frustrating because I have no problem losing to Tampa Bay. If it happens, it happens if they're the better team. But there are some moments from players that put us in bad positions. There was some Dave Canales, and he even admitted there's been a couple things where he should either saw better or did better on the few couple drives. But when the refs get into it, you just feel like, well, there's nothing I can do. I can't play a team and the ref. The Panthers cannot play the Bucs, and they can't play the refs at the same time. You have to pick one, and you have to play the Bucs. So I hate when refs get into that and immediately start calling things that they do not see but assume they saw. The defense, yeah, they give us 16 points, but they were out in the field for a long time. They forced Baker Mayfield with a sack. They forced him with a couple sacks, forced an interception. They did really, really well. Like Evero's defense, I'm really impressed with because, yeah, they give up quite a few yards, but they are able to always make a stand if they need to. And they're just young defense. We've talked about it with your Colts, Cody. I'm not a huge fan of our
Hmm.
linebacker play. I'm just not. I cannot wait for us to get some replacements. Because I think that I don't think I know that's the weakest part of our defense. Our the corner and secondaries. Again, the Mike Evans had two big catches. Abuka had a big catch, and McMillan had a big catch. Really, that's all you can ever ask for. No one went off. No one went over 100 yards. They were just, oh, they made a big play. All right, that's going to happen, especially with that many talented guys. And not to mention Chris Godwin and Kate Otten. Like you have five weapons on the field for the Bucs that can legitimately be a number one or number two for any other team in the league. And I'm proud of those guys in the secondary, especially a young front. So here's the reality. Moving forward, I'm a Falcons fan for tomorrow. Go Dirty Birds. If they don't get in the playoffs, this is just going to be a hard game to swallow in the offseason because you had the opportunities to win. You set yourself up. I really believe if Bryce Young was able to get the ball back, they're finding a way to score because the momentum was there. It just sucks that they blew this opportunity. And and again, like I said earlier, I hate the fact that we have to rely on the Falcons to win because the Saints are hobbled, but they're the Saints, and they it will be horrible. It'll be a bad pill to swallow to have the Saints beat us, beat essentially get us out of the playoffs three times, and we only played them twice. That that's a hard pill to swallow. So